Spaceducks.
What's up? People are probably like, what the heck's going on? You looped it on everybody.
I did. I looped it because it's so short, but I love Spaceducks. Spaceducks is awesome. that's the OG music for us is Spaceducks. So what's happening, folks? Welcome to Thursday night. No hobby night tonight, but even though it's no hobby night, I got a bunch of stuff on my hobby desk.
You've been working for the last 30 minminutes already.
Yeah. See, there we go. Let me see if I can get a shot there. So we got all kinds of aerospace and mechs going on here, mechs going on back here. Got some new speed paints back there. So all kinds of stuff going on, and still working on my drop ships. So fun. Hey, look, it's Alan, Discover Games. What's happening, my friend Alan? What's up?
First.
So that's what I've been working on. I got some new, I like these. I got some new tanks in from, I can't remember who this was. It wasn't Modest Mini Studios, which I know I always plug them, but this was not. But those were some pretty cool ones. It took forever to get it. Yeah, those ones did. I ordered one mech and several vehicles, but they just took absolutely forever to get in. So anyway, so I've been working on battle mechs. Our boy Todd turned me on to the Fighting Piranha decals for my battle mechs. And I put in an order from Eris Games, and I told the guy I was going to give him some props because he left out one of the decal things that I ordered, and he was super apologetic, took care of it. So if you're looking to get anything from Eris Games, great customer service. So I highly recommend that you go ahead, and if you need something from Eris, just make it happen because it's a good customer service. So there you go, free plug. Boom.
Looks like Alan likes them too.
Yep. So I don't think the only decals I've applied so far are on my drop ship. So I ordered a set of the larger decals to put on my drop ship. So
yeah, because that was pretty big. You had a lot of real estate on that one.
Yeah, so I got the big ones put on there, but I haven't put any of the small ones on yet because I have a backlog of them to do, and I'm not sure I'm ready to just sit. I'm not ready to just
do decals all day.
Decals all day. Yeah, I'm not ready for the 4-hour decal.
Go upstairs, you have decals stuck to you.
Yeah, I'm not ready for the decal marathon just yet, but soon I'll be ready for it. Anyway. So what are you working on? Besides, comic books, right?
Yeah, well, that's the usual. As you can see behind me, I got the box sitting there, and
they send a sticker too.
Oh, that's cool.
Eris Games.
I wanted to bring up our Discord because everybody's posting what they're working on for the month. I really like this beginning of the month. Post what you're planning on working on, and you can see some of the progress. You guys are putting some progress pictures there. Helps motivate. Starting to motivate me. That's saying a lot. But other than that, just kind of same old. I mean, I'm just chipping away at the same old miniatures.
Oh man, we'll have to do another hobby night just to get you to paint stuff.
No.
Oh gosh.
Any news?
What's that?
Any news?
Any news? Well, yeah, a little bit of news. So Oathsworn Miniatures is running a Kickstarter right now. So we've talked a lot about Burrows and Badgers and a couple of things about it. Number one, quality of the game. But number two, what really pushes that game, I think, to the next level is the quality of the miniatures and the uniqueness of them. So they're running a Kickstarter right now, and it's the kind of Kickstarter, I think, it's what Kickstarter is really about, right? So this is the kind of place where he's not going to raise $6 million. And
no, he's just looking to get that jumpstart funding to print like a small batch of
and honestly I haven't even looked at it. I'm going to actually go there right now.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. We can share with I'm sure Alder's all over it already. And
oh yeah, he was the one that shared it. I knew it was coming because that's one of the groups that I do keep up with.
Here we got a visitor for Eric Allen saying, what is he working on? Getting his craft room set up so he can get back to assembling and painting game stuff.
There you go. Come on, Eric. Do it, man. Do it. Okay, so I'm going to share this screen.
Yeah, I want to see.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
I like that these models, too, were all one piece, right? It was classic metal miniatures, one piece.
So here we go. Here's the Burrows and Badgers. Looks like we've got the Pledge Without Reward, 6 new miniatures. I mean, look at that. 6 new miniatures, $51. That's not bad. No, that's not bad at all. And that's the Kindred.
Okay.
That's the Kindred group. We'll go down and look at that in a second. And then the Soldier group, 59, because that looks like it has maybe a bear or a badger in it. I can't tell. Then he's got the Outsiders. Wow, he's got a lot more than I thought he was. So that's 62.
I thought it was just a couple for like each faction, but these are like completely different war bands.
Yep, and then all in is 158. So let's see what we've got here. The Pledges, the Warriors of the Wild, the Kindred. So these are the greens. Looks like we've got a Mouse Archer, maybe a Raven Archer. And a big bird in the back, not sure what that is. A fox.
Okay.
Can't tell. I can't really tell what the other two are. A lot of archers in this, though. It looks like 3 of them are archers. And then the Warriors of the Wild. Oh, that owl is cool.
That's cool. I think that looks like a badger.
Yep, that looks like a night badger. And then a couple of small, maybe a shrew, or that's not a dormouse, it's a shrew. Then we got the Outsiders. Let's see.
Another big one.
Yeah, another big one there. Those look good. Oh, he's even got it. So it's Malik Quickpaw, the Fox Kindred Knight. Then we got the Jackdaw Knight.
That's kind of neat.
Different. For the first group, yeah. Hedgehog Knight. I love the hedgehogs, man. I do. The Vole Knight. So these are all knights. And the Mouse. The wee tiny Sally Twitch Nose. And then we've got the Hen Harrier Knight and the Badger. Oh, it's a mercenary. Okay, he's a Badger mercenary.
Look at the size of that sword.
Yeah, that's a big old Zweihander. No, that's a Flamberge. I'm sorry. Flamberge. Cheerful Chargle, the Shrew mercenary.
Good morning, Alder. And Alan said, don't make me back this.
Oh, I'm not going to make you do anything. We can blame that on Mr. Lovejoy.
Yeah. Alder, we brought you up already, and we figured, you were already all in on this. So,
oh yeah, long-eared owl, a mouse knight. What do we got? Oh, that's all together new. Look at that, a newt.
That's cool.
Turn me into a newt.
Clorp. I like his name, Clorp.
I go better. Turn me into a newt. Oh, that's what I need. The Otter Hill folk. I love the otter. I have a bunch of otters in my war band.
Alder's saying that their video they feature these models painted in it.
Of course they do. Mouse Wildling. There's another newt. Oh, 3 newts. Okay, that's cool. Mouse Mage, Ferret, Polecat, Pirate. I do the ferrets too. I get a lot of ferrets. Okay, so that's what it is. So go check it out, man.
We're influencing here. Sorry.
All right.
One of the things I liked about that game is that like you, I know you did heavy otters, right? And
otters and ferrets.
And ferrets.
Otters, ferrets, and weasels.
So it's like if you like a particular animal in that world, like there's a lot of rabbits and hares too that you could build your faction to that. It doesn't really matter. They just kind of are supposed to loosely represent. I mean, some of them, yeah, they're straight up supposed to be, you know, an archer or a magic user or something like that. But yeah, you could have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I'll probably back it at some level, just because I'll probably back it at whichever one's going to get me the Badger Mercenary.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
And you know what though, too? Eventually, these are all going to be on the website.
That's very true.
I like.
That's very true, because with his Mike and Joe, everything, there's nothing exclusive on the Kickstarter. It's just to be able to get it started, you know,
to get it started, get it up on the website, and then once it's in production, they have the molds made, basically. Then they can kind of
then it just starts. Look at you, Alder. You are not being helpful, my friend. Go all in. You know you want to. I might have to, just because. See, I think Mike did that on purpose. That's why he put the ferret and the badger in two different groups.
Yep.
Right, because then I can't just do the one. I got to do all of them.
Then I can be in the lead again and just have one more model to finish.
Yeah, but you've had that one more model to finish.
I've had it forever. I don't know what's the deal, man.
That's a very, very good point, man. They're doing it right. No fear of missing out. They're awesome.
That's why we like them in Twilight.
You know. And it's
not be available right now, but they will be.
Yeah, and it's not just because both those creators are named Michael. That's not why. Even though it is the case, that's not why. Yeah. But yeah, it's a great company. Even I've got one of my boxes right here. Look here. That's the box. They send you this nice box for your miniatures that you get them in,
like an old school pencil case.
Yeah, it really is. And the more miniatures you order, the bigger the box. And even though for us, and Alder can probably speak to this one, but more minis working tomorrow. You dirty dog. Is Alder can speak to this one. Is I don't know how long it typically takes for it to get to Australia, but I know when I've ordered stuff, it's not too much more than a week for it to get here from the UK. Yeah, it's pretty fast. So, but of course, it's the kind of model where you want it the minute after you order it. So, you know, so that's no good.
Yeah.
It takes a week. But anyway, so, okay, we've already rambled for a super long time.
What the heck? Okay, so enough with all this fun stuff and news. Let's talk about what we were going to talk about. And this kind of sprang up from last week with our little paint on the desk night. I think it came up randomly when we were just chit-chatting. And we thought, oh, this would be a good topic. So we kind of wanted to talk about, what do you play, right? How do you choose what to play? And I think you summed it up best saying the reality is you got to play what the other people are playing at the stores. I mean, it's simple. That if you want to play a game, you got to play what the popular game is, I think. Right?
Not even necessary. I don't know. So maybe that's the case if you have a game store, right? Like, so I don't have a game store here. Alan, looking at you. Trying to get him to open a store up here. But you have to play what people are going to play, right? I'm never going to play 40K again, right? It's just not even because of
what about Kill Team? Is Kill Team a little bit smaller? Give you a taste?
It is. And I've played Kill Team a couple of times with my son. I'm not buying anything, but I'll play it. But that's what it comes down to is what someone is. Let me turn that light off. What someone is actually going to play with you. Now, I have a buddy here, Seth, who for the vast majority of stuff, he'll try, right? Yeah. But he's willing to play a couple of the games that he's really sold on. For instance, Burrows and Badgers. There are games that'll come out on Kickstarter where I'll be like when the last Twilight one came out, I was back and forth on whether or not I wanted to back it.
I am mad at myself over that one.
Well, see, I'm not really for me because I was back and forth over it because the reality is I'm not going to get it to the table. Probably the only way I'm going to get it to the table is if I take my stuff and go down to Alan's store and play a game with him.
Yeah.
Right. Because he's got all of his Twilight stuff as well. But or if I go up and play you know, and that's a long drive. I just made that drive. I ain't making that drive to play. I like Twilight, but I don't like it like that.
But really like a game to go that far.
Yeah, you got to really like a game. But the truth is, I'm gonna get the Burrows and Badgers stuff to the table, right? Even just talking about it I've got 3 models left to paint. They're the more recent ones that I've ordered, and naturally, it's 2 otters and the new beaver because I love the beaver. But I know that that's going to get to the table. It's the same way with the BattleTech. It's going to get to the table because my kids like to play it. So I'm going to play BattleTech for as long as my kids are willing to play a game with me. And as much as I love my games like Twisted, I love the Drowned Earth, I love Deep Wars and Shadow Sea. You know, these are all fantastic game systems. Every one of those systems I just named has probably some of the best miniatures out there as far as quality of sculpts, detail for the realistic stuff, you know, not making a comparison to you know, an otter woman in a dress with a sling. That's not the same kind of comparison. But they don't get to the table.
Yeah. And that's like you said, you're talking about your immediate group. You know, the kids love some of those games, and you have that local friend. And I mean, you suffer from that fact that you just don't have a local game store.
Yep.
And for the people out there that do have, you know, whether it could be even a comic store that has gaming in it, you know, it's like you got to look at, okay, if you want a game, you got to look at what is out there. What are people passionate about and getting into? There's been a lot of games I've gotten into because that's what was being played. I think Monster Apocalypse, the reason I jumped into it, because I found out, oh, there's a community for this, so let's try it out. And, you know, I ended up meeting some friends that I still have today. And, you know, it was an early game for Xander to get into. So that was the other thing. He was into it. Like,
somebody was going to play.
And then I found a group that we could both play together with. So it's not just him beating on me every time we played. So,
yeah, that's 150,000% accurate. And the other thing about that is, if you have a game, and this particular instance does require that you have a game store. Okay, so this is predicated on that. Is if there is a game, say it's Drowned Earth or Twisted or anything, I don't care what it is, Twilight. If you want to play it, you have to be the champion at the game store.
That's the caveat, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be the champion. Just like for anything, if you're the one showing up, and there's a lot that goes into being the champion for it. Like, you can't be a jerk. You know, if you're there and you're just being a jerk while you're introducing a game, you've just ruined it for anybody playing it with you. You got to be open, warm, receptive, all of those things, and you have to be the champion for that game. Otherwise, you will find yourself at the point where it's like nobody's going to play it if you're not bringing it to the table.
Yeah,
and then you'll still struggle getting people.
Yeah, and if that's the case, if you don't have that time to invest into that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then you're kind of limited what your choices are, right?
Yeah.
Then that's when we're talking about what are the popular games, and we go to the Warhammer, and, you know,
right.
Unfortunately for you, BattleTech's probably pretty popular right now. That, you know, I think that's a go-to for a lot of game stores.
Yeah, you know, I don't think BattleTech's ever really gone away. I mean, it's like 40K. It's been around for 40 years, but I mean,
just like card games too. If you want to play a card game, look into Magic because it's everywhere.
Right, exactly. And it's like Jordan says here, he'd rather lose 100 games of Infinity, or he will lose 100 games of Infinity before he gets to put heavy gear on the table, because it's just what people are playing.
Yeah.
And
he's got a good group, it sounds like.
Right.
That makes a world of difference if it's a group that you feel comfortable in, that you're not going to show up, and it's like you get that anxiety of performing,
Right. Yeah, Terrence too. It's why you buy into a game like Blood Bowl. Active community does that. And yeah, it's saying he hesitates to drop money on Relic Blade or the Black Site games. True, Relic Blade is great. I've played at least once the vast majority of the Black Site games, at least once. None of them are bad games, right? None of them have rules where you would finish the game and go, yeah, it was just okay. They're fun games. They're engaging games. They're good games, right? So, but when there's no active group, and Alan's going to follow this up, and this coming from the perspective of the game store owner, the non-game mainstream game is hard anywhere. You got to have a good champion. And even then it may flop, right?
Yeah.
You may not get that follow through. It takes a lot of commitment to do that. As Todd makes a good point too. All the cool games need a champion to get.
Well, I gotta apologize to Terrence too for bringing up the old memories.
Filling in with those memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason's hard enough to find a group as it is. Well, boy, you don't have to say that. You can come over here and play anytime, Jason. So watch it now. Calling you out there, buddy boy. But it's hard to find. It's hard to find a group. It's harder to find a group when there's not a store, just because there's not a central location. Sure, there's all the social media. There's Facebook. You can start groups, all of this other stuff, but it's just not the same as walking into a game store and somebody having a BattleTech game set up, or somebody having a 40K game set up, or any of that. To walk into that is very different than jumping on a Facebook group or jumping into a Discord or anything like that. The Terrence saying companies need to get the ball rolling to help their champions build interest in their game.
And I think that's what separates a good company from a company that's just putting the product out there and hoping that it sells, type of thing. It's part of selling it is you got to kind of support the people that have interest in it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So Alder says he's too old to champion games. He just wants to play. Yeah,
mess with that stuff.
I just want to play. It's time for the young whippersnappers to champion them games and whippersnappers. What's going on here? And again, I'm glad Alan's on tonight, because as a store owner, he has that perspective.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
People got to see it on the table multiple times. I think that
what he's saying here happened to me with Wild West Exodus. I had a hard time promoting it because my store had a hard time, not so much hard time. They didn't want to keep a lot of stock in the store, or, they just kept bringing in the same stock. And it's like, well, it's hard to get. Yeah, we can get new players with that stock, but how do we keep the players we already got? There's nothing for them to get. So,
Right. And again, I think a lot of it, and we've discussed this a couple of times, a lot of it has a lot to do with that just the market is flooded.
Yeah. It's hard to stand out, right?
Right. You look at a game store owner like Alan and you go, what do you do? What games do you pick? How do you know which one to pick?
Yeah.
Ultimately, because there is a bottom line, right? There's a you got to pay the light bill, you got to keep the doors open, you have to pay employees, you have to do all these things, and
buy some Twizzlers for everybody.
You got to buy Twizzlers, man. You got to have the Black Rifle coffee in the shop, and you got to buy that stuff. And so there's a bottom line. You have to have the stuff that is supporting the business. That's just a reality. Todd makes good point too. I mean, that's from personal perspective. Yeah, I agree. War Cradle absolutely failed to support the U.S. market. Wild West Exodus just kind of fell off the map.
Well, they put their eggs in a basket that was selling. Really, I mean, Dystopian Wars got hot, and they're like, "Well, we're going to keep hitting it,"
Yeah. Alan said he uses a Ouija board to figure out what he's going to sell.
Jason brings up a good point here. It's why the cons are key. You can display the game so people can see what it's about without that investment right away.
And you know, that plays right into the next thing Terrence said too, though. He brings his stuff to Adepticon and the company's not doing anything there. So it's like you feel like you're putting in this effort, and there's two sides to the coin too, right? Because none of us own a game company. Well, actually, Jordan's on here, so Jordan has a game, but you know, the vast majority of us, it's easy to armchair quarterback the game company because when you know nothing about how it works, it's really easy to armchair quarterback it. So I think you have to extend a bit of grace in that department to them and work with them as best you can. If that's where your heart is, as far as the game is, you know what I mean? Then you push on that game as hard as you want to. And if nobody else plays, write some solo rules. I wrote solo rules for Twisted.
And I sometimes that's one of the, I always try to see both sides, and that was one of the I think the negative sides. And I don't like being negative, but I've had this happen with games where I get super invested because I had a group that would every couple months they would go to a different game, and that's cool. Right. But in the same sense, I'm like, well, I just felt like I was getting going in this game, and now I have all this stuff that you guys don't want to play anymore.
Right. Yeah, I know. I totally get that. I 100% get that because especially a lot of the folks on here that listen to us are collectors as well. So we'll point the finger at Alder getting into his Cyberpunk game and just buying everything. Right. I think everybody in this group is particularly guilty of that.
Yeah.
Right over here. You know, hi, my name's Mac and I'm a mini-aholic, that whole thing. And so it's just tough. And I think it really, I don't remember it, even when I was broke and first playing Fantasy Battles, right? When I was broke, yes, you, Alder, when I was broke and first playing Fantasy Battles, it was never a problem of what are we going to play? Where are we going to play it? How are we going to find players? Everybody was playing the same stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot less choices back then, though, too.
Right. Now everybody's being funny. So, see, Todd said, I learned my lesson. No more got to have it all. It helps when the shelves are full. No, it doesn't, Todd. You're lying to us. You just build new shelves. We all know that. Okay. Yeah. Terrence said, yeah, ready, buy, plan. Exactly. See, you plan last. That's why you end up with everything. Let's see. Jason says it's hard for a new guy who just doesn't know where to go and what is actually out there, let alone finding others to play with that don't mind a new guy.
And that's where I think we go back to the title, right? You play what the other people are playing. If you are kind of that lost, I mean, that's your sure bet. And it's a good game. You'll probably have fun with it and stuff.
Yeah, and that's where, depending on where you are, that is where a local game store really does help out, because you're able to walk in and, like Alan said, you're able to see it all on the tables, and that makes a huge difference. And it's very appealing to walk in and see this game being played and this game being played and this game being played, Alder. Is there any option other than buying it all? Of course not. You've been listening to the show for a while. Of course there isn't. You just have to buy it all. It's like Pokemon. You got to catch them all, right?
No regrets. You don't want to have regrets. You need that one mini.
Right. No fear of missing out. Don't worry. And on that note, I'd like to remind everyone there's a Kickstarter going on. So, but that's just that's the nature of the beast. First world problems, right?
Yeah.
First world problems. That's the nature of the beast for finding players for your game. Anthony says you don't have to buy the whole game line. Look at you guys. You guys are hilarious. Don't want to run out of unpainted minis. Then what would I not do all the time? Exactly. See? Don't worry. I'm pretty sure no one in this group is in any danger of running out of miniatures.
No, you saw the basement just recently.
Yep, I was just there, and Eric's been in my basement, so yeah, I'm not in any danger. Yeah, I'm not in any danger of running out of anything. So, but it's a problem, but it's not a bad problem to have. You may just have to bite the bullet and play something that isn't your first interest. But the reality is, here's the reality. As much as I say that I won't play 40K, and not because of anything except that it's just way bigger than anything I want to play. I'm not going to play any war game that big. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
But if I were to this weekend have a couple of guys come over and we were to set my table up and play a 40K game, I will bet you $100 I would have a good time. That's the thing. Yeah. Right? That's really the thing. Oh, Eric, you haven't been on for a while, so I don't know if you remember this or not. It is not the pile of shame.
Opportunity.
Pile of opportunity. Got to keep that positive spin on it, the pile of opportunity. So anyway, I think that's kind of what we had. My pile of opportunity over here.
Yeah, I don't know if we solved anything, but we brought perspective to some stuff, right?
Well, here's a great last minute perspective from Anthony, and I like this. If you play something that's not your first interest for a while, you'll at least meet some folks that might be able to interest them in your thing later. Yeah, because a lot of the times your buddies, you go play, I don't know, 40K with them. You go play Kill Team with them. You go play Old World, Age of Sigmar, whatever it is. You go play that with them. You play for a month or so and you have a good time playing. And then you go, hey, would you guys be interested in maybe this weekend trying insert game here, Drowned Earth, Twisted, Battletech, whatever it is? Yeah, sure. And the next thing you know, you may have hooked them into a game. And the important thing is you've met other gamers, people. It's like Jordan said earlier about playing Infinity versus Heavy Gear. He's playing lots of games of Infinity with guys that are great, that he's enjoying playing the game with and having fun playing it. He'd love to play Heavy Gear. Maybe one of them will play, Yeah. So
yeah, totally.
Totally, bro.
Totes, as the kids say, totes.
Is that what they say? I don't know what the kids say. I don't care what the kids say. I'm out of date, so they can say whatever they want if that's what it means, as long as they're playing games too and not playing video games, right?
There you go. Yeah,
we got to get them to the table. Alder says, "Catch you later." Now go back to the Burrows and Badgers Kickstarter. On my way, sir.
Oh man!
All right, we'll take this one we'll field this comment from Eric last here. Pile of opportunity, much better. I stand corrected. Yeah, I'm playing D&D now, even though it's not first choice, with the hopes you can get him interested in other things later. Yep. There you go, man. Yeah, that's exactly what you got to be willing to do, because if we're willing to do it when we go into a gaming environment and people see that you're willing to do that, it's likely that they'll be willing to extend the same grace to you and go, yeah, sure, what the heck, I'll give it a try. That's my 2 cents anyway. That's what I think. My buddy that's on here, Jason, we introduced him to a couple of different miniatures games that he had never played before. And I can't speak for him, but I'm pretty sure that he had fun with them. He wasn't looking to play those games in particular, but I'm pretty sure he had fun and enjoyed it. And it's Todd said, it's not the games you play, it's the people you play with.
Yep.
There you go. All right, sir. I'm pretty sure it's your turn to take us out. I'm going to make you do it anyway. Boom.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us for this week's fastest 30 minutes in gaming that we call shorts, and we like to do every Thursday. Make sure you guys check us out on Podbean, iTunes, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, all the podcast places for our old audio, and check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Discord, and drop us a line.
Isn't it? It's X now.
Oh, yeah, it is X. I got to change that, don't I?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's really using it that much, but you can check us out on all those places. Send us an email at gmail.com. But our favorite place of late is the Discords, where you guys can post your projects there. Our newest, I guess you call it thread. Is that what they call it? Thread?
Yeah, chat room, whatever.
Monthly hobby challenge, and post up what you guys are working on in the month.
Yep.
And if you want to support us, you can visit us at redbubble.com, people, Indie Invasion, for some merch, hats, mugs, stickers, t-shirts, all that stuff. We got all that fun stuff there.
All the cool things.
Yep. I haven't been there in a while, so they might have some new stuff, so I have to check out.
I was there a few days ago. It's a lot of the same stuff, but coffee cups, hats, t-shirts.
Maybe a big area rug. I need a big area.
There you go. You probably don't want to get an Indie Invasion area rug because I think most of them are in white. And if you have the kind of house where you can sport a white rug, knock yourself out. I still have kids at home, so that ain't working at my house.
Yeah, I got 2 dogs that think they're pigs, so
yeah, and I got 4 dogs too, so it's not going to work here for a white rug.
But that's all we got for you guys this week. But until next time, you guys, prepare yourselves for the invasion.